The dust-laden winds of Riyadh carried whispers of a momentous meeting on February 18, 2025. High-ranking officials from the United States and Russia convened in the Saudi Arabian capital. The world watched with bated breath. This gathering marked the most significant diplomatic engagement between the two superpowers since the eruption of the Russia-Ukraine war nearly 3 years prior. The opulent setting of Riyadh, a symbol of Saudi Arabia's rising global influence, provided a neutral backdrop. It was here that the two sides sought to navigate the treacherous terrain of war and diplomacy. The meeting, shrouded in secrecy and anticipation, aimed to break the impasse that had gripped the international community. The stakes were undeniably high. The conflict in Ukraine had not only destabilized Eastern Europe, but also sent shockwaves through the global order. It had shattered the fragile post-Cold War peace. The Riyadh talks, therefore, represented a glimmer of hope. The world yearned for a resolution. The question on everyone's mind was whether this meeting could pave the path towards peace. Or would it merely serve as another chapter in a protracted and devastating conflict? The Riyadh talks saw key figures converge, each representing their nation's interests. Representing the U.S. was Secretary of State Marco Rubio, known for his hawkish stance. Alongside him were National Security Advisor Mike Waltz and U.S. Envoy Steve Witkoff. Russia's delegation was led by Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov, accompanied by Yuri Ushakov, advisor to President Putin. Saudi hosts included Foreign Minister Prince Faisal bin Farhan Al Saud and National Security Advisor Mossad bin Mohammed Al Aiban. The presence of high-ranking officials underscored the gravity of the situation. Analysts and diplomats worldwide scrutinized their every word and gesture. The absence of Ukrainian officials cast a shadow over the proceedings. Amidst the heightened tensions and cautious optimism, the United States and Russia managed to find common ground on 3 key objectives. These goals, outlined in a joint statement released after the meeting, represented a tentative roadmap towards addressing the crisis. Firstly, both sides agreed to restore staffing at their respective embassies. This step, though seemingly symbolic, signaled a willingness to re-engage diplomatically. It aimed to thaw the icy relations that had characterized the past few years. Secondly, the two superpowers committed to establishing a high-level team. This team would be tasked with the daunting responsibility of supporting peace talks between Russia and Ukraine. The composition and mandate of this team remained unclear, but its formation represented a step towards facilitating dialogue. Finally, and perhaps most significantly, the United States and Russia agreed to explore avenues for closer relations. This included exploring areas of potential economic cooperation. This commitment reflected a recognition that the path to resolving the Ukraine conflict would necessitate addressing the broader geopolitical tensions between the two nations. Section 4. Echoes of Discord and Absence. Despite the diplomatic overtures and the cautious optimism surrounding the Riyadh talks, discordant notes continued to reverberate. The absence of Ukrainian officials from the meeting cast a pall over the proceedings. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, visibly dismayed by the lack of consultation, postponed his planned trip to Saudi Arabia. Zelensky's reaction underscored the deep mistrust between Ukraine and Russia. It also highlighted the limitations of any peace process that did not fully involve all parties to the conflict. European allies, too, expressed concerns about being sidelined in these crucial discussions. The absence of a unified front among Western powers raised questions about the long-term viability of any agreements reached in Riyadh. It also highlighted the challenges of navigating the complex web of alliances and rivalries that had come to define the geopolitical landscape. Section 5. Shifting Sands, A New World Order. The Riyadh talks signaled a potential realignment of global power dynamics. The meeting underscored the growing assertiveness of regional powers like Saudi Arabia. A potential Trump-Putin summit hinted at a new era of US-Russia relations. Such a summit would mark a significant departure from the previous administration. However, the ongoing conflict in Ukraine remains a challenge. Despite diplomatic efforts, Russian forces continued their offensive. The Riyadh talks represented a beginning, offering a glimmer of hope. Whether this hope could blossom into lasting peace remained to be seen.